Okay, so this first question says that x is directly proportional to y. So if I'm going to express x in terms of y, the first thing I'm going to do is write this sentence as an expression. So x is directly proportional to y. I'm going to need to write this with a constant, so I'm going to put x is equal to ky. I'm then going to use these two values to figure out the value of k. So 21, when x is 21, y is 3. So k times 3. This means that 21 divided by 3 is k, so therefore k is 7. And if k is 7, this equation becomes x equals 7y, the formula. So we then, for part B, we have to use this to work out the value of x when y is equal to these three values. So for B part 1, y equals 1 and x equals 7y, so x equals 7 times 1, which is 7. For part 2, y equals 2, x equals 7y, so that's 7 times 2, which is 14. And for part 3, y equals 10 and x equals 7y, so x equals 7 times 10, so x equals 70. For question 2, it's very similar. We've got a different type of proportion though, it's inverse proportion. So that means I'm going to change how I write this. A is proportional to B, so it's A and B, but because it's inverse proportion, A is proportional to 1 over B. If I write that with the constant in, A is equal to K over B. So I'm going to again find a formula for A in terms of B. That means putting these two values in. So 12 is equal to K divided by 4. So 12 times 4 will be K, which is 48. So that means this formula can become A equals 48 over B, or divided by B. Right, for part B then, we just have to work out the value for each one of these when B is equal to. So if B equals 1, A equals 48 divided by 1, which is 48. If B equals 8, A equals 48 divided by 8, which is 6. And if B equals 10, A equals 48 divided by 10, which is 4.8. Part C, they've changed it slightly. They've given you the value of A. So that means if I write my equation for C part 1, that 4 is the value of A. So 4 equals 48 divided by B. Now 48 divided by B is 4, and it means that B is equal to 48 divided by 4, which is 12. For part 2, A equals 24, so 24 equals 48 divided by B, so B equals 48 divided by 24, which is 2. Finally, for part 3, A equals 3.2, so 3.2 is equal to 48 divided by B, so B is equal to 48 divided by 3.2, which is 15. That's that done. Number 3 is very similar to number 2, it's just worded slightly differently. The variables u and v are in inverse proportion to one another. So u is proportional to the inverse of v. When u equals 3, then v equals 8. Find the value of u when v equals 12. They've not asked us to write a formula, but it's always best to do that. So I'm going to start by putting u equals k over v. Using these two values, 3 equals k over 8. So 3 times 8 equals k, so 24 equals k. Therefore, u equals 24 over v. And then all I need to do is find the value of u when v is 12. So u equals 24 divided by 12, so u is 2. Number 4 says p is directly proportional to the square of q. So p is proportional to q squared. If we're going to express p in terms of q, we're going to do the usual method. So p equals k q squared. It's direct proportion, so it's not got over on it. We're then going to substitute in these two values. 75 is equal to k times 5 squared. So 75 is equal to k times 25. So k is 75 divided by 25, which is 3. Which means I can now express p in terms of q. P equals 3q squared. Part B, it says work out the value of p when q equals 7. So p equals 3 times 7 squared. So that's 3 times 49, which is 147. And finally, for the last part, C, it says work out the positive value of q when p equals 27. Now this is quite an unusual phrasing, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So, work out the positive value of q when p equals 27. So 27 is equal to 3q squared. So if I divide both sides by 3, I get 9 is equal to q squared. Now, when you square root something, you actually get a positive and a negative answer, because positive 3 squared is 9 and negative 3 squared is also 9, because two minuses multiplied together make a positive. Now because it just wants the positive value, it only wants 3. So it just wants q is equal to 3. Okay, so 5 now says y is directly proportional to x squared. So, and the question is, express y in terms of x. So y is proportional to x squared. So y equals kx squared, same as you're used to by now. When x equals 3, y equals 36. So 36 is k times 3 squared, which is k times 9. So k must be 4, and therefore this formula becomes y equals 4x squared. For part B, it's a little bit more unusual, this bit. It says z is inversely proportional to x and gives us some values. Show that z equals cy to the power of n, where c and n are numbers and c is greater than 0. So we know that we want to write z in terms of y, but we're only going to be able to do from this bit z in terms of x. So we must have to use what we've got here.